Hey all, this is Xenoxis, and this is the Xenoxis show for the 11th of February 2023. Yes, back with another webcam video. So today I almost finished Metal Prime and stuff that, but I kind of fucked up on the final boss on the last part and stuff that. I kind of wasted my power bombs too early and stuff that. So yeah. And it's pretty annoying that you cannot refill your power bombs in a certain area, and it seems to almost infinitely spawn a certain type of enemy. And the thing is, sure, you can kill them quickly with power bombs, but then you can so easily get knocked off. It's basically the worst room in the game, if I'm being honest. You know, it's a really bad room. It's so bad. There is a really bad room in the game, which, you know, is pretty horrible, to be honest. You know, super bad room. Anyway, we're actually gonna go in on the I think I need to actually go in on the video here, used for some references here to a few things here. Yeah, I need to go in here. So yeah, so the snipers there, the handguns, the submachine guns, the assault rifles, shotguns, the magnums, and the new game plus weapons, like all of them have infinite ammo by default. So we're gonna go over these were some of my ideas for some of the weapons and stuff that they could add. And the reason why they would want to add weapons is, of course, if they're gonna extend the game, like, sure, you normally get, you know, gun with the weapons at a decent pace in the game. But having more options is going to be important, especially since it seems that at each merchant, or basically it's going to work more like RE5. Like in RE5, you basically had like a stash that you could use stash the weapons, and you could use, you know, you could fully upgrade a weapon, then you could use stash away instead of having to sell it and stuff that. So basically you could technically have all weapons upgraded eventually. In RE5, of course, all the weapons could become infinite ammo. This was also true in RE6, I believe, and also in RE8. I forgot about RE7 though, if that was the case there as well. But yeah, in RE8, of course, you had to fully upgrade the weapon before you could give it, you know, infinite ammo and stuff like that. And I think it cost points, if I remember correctly. But yeah, now a lot of these weapons are from specifically from RE5, and yeah. Although the specifically the New Game Plus weapons are from both RE5 and from RE6 as well. There are 3 weapons basically that is from RE6. I could have included even more RE6 weapons, but it just feels like too many like infinite handguns. Would not be a good idea, although some of the infinite handguns kind of work more like magnums rather than handguns, but yeah. So we're gonna go over a few things. I'm drinking kind of almost like a grog thing. It's basic, it's rum. It's what's left of the Kraken rum. Finally drink it up. I forgot, I'm pretty certain I recorded on that birthday. I forgot which birthday it was when I got the Kraken. I mean, I probably still don't have that picture somewhere, you know, and stuff there, but yeah. Because of course I did save, you know, a bunch of pictures back in the year. There's the birthday on the 2020, there's the 2021 birthday. And then of course certain one of these are probably also from birthday, but not like written down and stuff that. You know, stuff that, so yeah. Kind of wish I started doing that earlier and stuff there. Yeah. Which is why, you know, why the old YouTube channel was so important, you know, that I could see that, oh, this is what I did on this birthday and whatever, you know, and stuff that, like that was really important. But anyway, we're gonna go over some weapons. Like these are the weapons I would like to see added to RE4. Of course, they could just add weapons from RE8 as well, from RE7, from different RE games, of course. And these are aside from just the regular guns that are in the game already and stuff. So yeah, so snipers, there's Psycho 75, which is the first sniper you pick up in RE5, which is, I believe it's Bolt, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Then we have the SVD Dragunov, which you pick up in a locker used before the bat fight when you're chasing Irving and or Irving. And then we have the Heckler & Koch PSD1, which, you know, it's a PSD1, it's the last sniper you get, which I believe you can only get via the shop. I don't think, or wait, did you get it in the shop or did you get it somewhere? I think you got it somewhere, basically, where those insta-kill mobs kinda are used before that or whatever. But yeah, for handguns, Beretta 92 FS, that's the one in Resident Evil 5, that's the Beretta in that. And then we have the Beretta 93 F, which normally is a New Game Plus gun, if I'm not mistaken. Although I believe it's the gun that unlocks if you fully upgrade the first handgun. Basically in RE5, it was as a crew system that if you fully upgraded the first of every weapon, you would be able to get a special weapon. And you could also sometimes get it even during your first like new game and stuff, that like you could purchase it because the weapon did not start out with infinite ammo, because of course fully upgrading the handgun gave you the 93 Replica, fully upgrading the submachine gun, the Scorpion, gave you the Gatling gun, which was exclusive Chris, fully upgrading the Psycho 75 gave Sheba the bow, which also had infinite ammo from the start. Same thing with Chris's Gatling gun. The Itachi, of course, shotgun give you access to the Hydra and stuff that. And fully upgrading the first Magnum, the Smith & Wesson one, gives you the 500, which is supposed to be the RE4 hand cannon, but it looks different, so I don't count it as the same. But yeah, so the Beretta 93 Replica is of course really good because it's a burst fire gun and it's very, very different from, you know, something like the Matilda and stuff that. But then we have the Heckler & Koch P8, which is pretty decent. Then we have the 6-hour P226, which is the strongest handgun of the ordinary handguns, not counting the Beretta 93 F Replica, which is, by the way, which is burst fire. Or you can fire single shot with it as well, I believe. For some machine guns, the Heckler & Koch MP5A3, which is the MP5 that you get in the game, and the Scorpion VZ.61, which of course the Scorpion has been like in Metal Gear Solid games. It's a very, very short TMP, and technically it's in RE8 disguised as one of the handguns. But once you get all the parts for it, you basically get like a submachine gun working as a handgun, which is actually pretty funny. Assault rifles, these would be found, of course, after getting all the submachine guns. So after you get the Scorpion, or after you get the TMP, the Scorpion, the Heckler & Koch, you will be able to find the assault rifles, and that will be the AK-74 and the 6-hour SIG 556 Hollow, because it comes with the holographic sight. And for shotguns, we have the Itachi 37, which is the first shotgun you pick up in RE5. Now, technically, there are some more shotguns in RE5, but those shotguns technically already exist in RE4. One of them is a Remake, one of them is that game's version of the Riot shotgun, and one is that game's version of the Striker. Although that version of the Striker has like less ammo for it, and it's not really the same. And of course we have the Hydra shotgun, which, you know, the Hydra is amazing, especially in the Mercenaries mode with, you know, Stas Wesker, you know, that is a really fun time, you know, with just blasting fools. And then like one strat would be like to just get rid of his handgun, and then all the ammo that would drop pretty much would be for the Hydra shotgun, so that is pretty amazing. For Magnums, we have the IMI Desert Eagle Mark, that's 19, yeah, it was Mark 19, aka the Lightning Hawk, which you might say, oh, but we have the Killer 7 and stuff, about the Killer 7 is based on a 911, so they look different enough. We have the Smith & Wesson Model 29, which is the more old school-esque revolver, but it's still would look more modern than the Broken Butterfly. And here we of course have the Smith & Wesson Model 500, which is, you know, the hand cannon, but it's different from the hand cannon because it looks more realistic and stuff like that. And then we have the New Game Plus weapons, and all of them have infinite ammo by default. Beretta 92 FS, Samurai Edge Albert Wesker model. This is the one that Wesker uses both in the fights against him, and I believe he also has it in Mercenaries mode. And he also, that handgun is stronger. I don't think it's supposed to be 9mm. I think it's supposed to be 44 or 45 Magnum or something, 45 ECP or something like that. But yeah. Then we have, of course, the Beretta 96 FS Samurai Edge, which is Barry Burton Samurai Edge, which is pretty poggy if you played with Barry Burton in a Reunion Mercenaries for RE5. And then we have, of course, the Beretta PX4 Storm, which is the little Valentine's gun, which is pretty unique. Then we have the Silver Serpent, Barry Burton, which is his Magnum, which he uses specifically because it also comes, I believe, with the Smith & Wesson Model 500. But the Silver Serpent, he only uses that when he does Miranda right. So if you knock an enemy on the floor, when others would get like a stomp command or another downed move, you get Miranda rights. Which, by the way, you just run up to someone's head and then, I have this, I have this. So if you can knock down a lot of enemies, it's just very powerful because you can just chain it together and stuff like that. And we have the from RE6, then these three final weapons here. We have the FN Tactical Police, which is a shotgun. We have the Beer Commander Assault Rifle and the Anti-Material Rifle, which is of course a rifle. So yeah, so to give you some variation there, and you know, it might be, oh, why so many like infinite handguns and stuff like that. This, you know, is in case they decide to not like make all of the guns like infinite ammo, you know, because that could be the case, you know, that they decide to not make all of the weapons infinite ammo, you know, and stuff like that, and only have a certain select weapons get infinite ammo. And when I finally got the last of my birthday presents, which of course I delayed on purpose because I got the majority of my birthday presents already in January, earlier in January. And there was one thing that I delayed because it was just so expensive. It's basically the same cost as the regular PS5 controller. And it's the purple, it's the galactic purple PS5 controller. Hell yeah, boy. Look at that sexiness. Man, look at that, man. And then you have the triggers and stuff that, yeah, it's just looks so damn good, man. Looks so good. That. Yeah. Amazing, by the way. Really amazing. I haven't played with it yet, but one thing that I noticed with it sadly is, of course, the charging cables for the PS5 is different compared to the original and stuff like that, which is a bit worrisome since the, you know, the, what do you want to call it? Oh yeah, I can have it like that actually. I can have it like that, so that's probably better to have it like that. So the thing is like, you don't get a new charging cable with it, which is a bit cheap, to be honest, that they doesn't come with a charging cable. So I have to use the one for the other controller, but yeah. I mean, the chance of you having to charge two controllers at once is very, very low, I feel, but still, you know what I mean. Yeah. But yeah, so those are the new weapons, of course. Now, there are also technically... Should I just open up a wiki file here? Yeah, yes, just to do a text document here. Xenoxis show. Or was it 11th of February 2023, RE4 Remake weapon balancing changes suggestions. Although the game is technically already done at this point, so I mean, but you know, they might, you know, balance things further, you know, because now it's a mod in the game, so now they should be able to like give it updates and stuff. That's so we have the different categories: handguns, shotguns, rifles. Do we go over the new game plus guns? New game plus guns. Like if they're gonna rebalance them. Magnums, misc, which would be like grenades, flashbangs, you know, the bolt thrower, which replaces my thrower. We already know that. Alright, so handguns. Yeah, let's go in on R4 here. Using the whole IMFDB database here. RE4, so the Silver Ghost. I don't know why it's nicknamed Silver Ghost though, because I never remember hearing that in game. Silver Ghost. This is just for the original names, basically, if they remain the same, or they might have a different, you know, thing. But yeah. And it's of course a combination of a bunch of guns. It's a combination of from all three handguns. So H&K USP SD with thread protector cap slash S&W, which is Smith & Wesson, S&W Sigma, and then finally Ruger P85. Those are the ones that the Silver Ghost is inspired by. Buff. Yeah. Balance. Chain. Suggestions. It is the regular handgun, right, that gets the 100 capacity, right, buff damage. Nerf ammo capacity, because it's the one that gets the 100 ammo, right? Is the starting handgun. Yeah. I forgot what the firing speed maxed out at. With exclusive that melee attacks get critical multiplier, because the gun has the, you know, the 5 times headshot multiplier, but there is also a multiplier for the melee moves, including the kick, by the way, because the kick can kick off heads. A lot of people say that, oh, that's a new thing, that wasn't in the original Leon kicking off heads, but that could happen when the melee moves to the crit. and stuff like that. So Silver Ghost, buff damage, nerf ammo capacity. This is specifically the 100 capacity, just to clarify that that's the thing that should be nerfed if they're buffing the damage. Clarify in the description with exclusive that melee attacks get critical multiplier and correct amount for each move. If there's like if there are lots of melee moves, because you don't know how many melee moves there will be at. Okay, so that's the first handgun. And then we have the I'm doing a bit of space between each of the guns here. FN 5 7 which is of course the Punisher, which is the FN 57. Buff damage, buff reload speed. That are all speed fully upgraded isn't really that impressive. Buff capacity, buff capacity 3. Make it pierce through infinite amount of enemies with exclusive, if they keep exclusives, course. Because the thing is, the 5 is a bit too limited. You might say, oh, but there's never like 5 enemies. But the thing is, if enemies are close enough to each other, so if there's 2 enemies like this, 2 enemies like this, like one on this side, one on this side, and they're right next to each other, and then there are in stacks of that, like so 2, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. Then basically, if you shoot in the middle of them, it will pierce through 2, and then 4. So then, because then it counts as piercing through 2 times, even though it technically only went through 1, because that's basically how it works. So it is meant to be, you know, for crowd control, for a handgun. Make it able to fully destroy shields in a few shots rather than leaving small holes. Yeah, it could pierce through shields, of course, the shields that they carry in castle, but also should deal full damage to armored opponents like on the island, because there are some armored opponents that you cannot like hurt in the head, for example, and you should be able to headshot those with the Punisher. So Punisher, buff damage, buff reload speed, buff capacity, make it pierce through infinite amount of enemies, or exclusive, make it able to fully destroy shields in a few shots rather than leaving the small holes, should deal full damage to armored opponents like on the island. So basically, if they're wearing like a headpiece or whatever, you know, you should use to be able to shoot them in the head. And of course, it should retain damage multiplier against Las Plagas of all types. if it was not in the OG game or in PS2, Wii and later versions, then add it. When you get the exclusive, it should be a 5 times damage multiplier to Las Plagas. The damage multiplier by default would start at 2 times damage. So retain damage multiplier against Las Plagas of all types. This is something I thought was in the original, but I don't know if that is true or not. And if it was not in the OG game or in the PS2, Wii and later versions, then add it. When you get exclusive, it should be a 5 times damage multiplier to reference the original, where you could pierce to 5 enemies. So that should have like 5 damage multiplier, because if it would have had a 5 damage multiplier in the original, then the 1.9 attack power cost, the 1.9 attack power of the Punisher would then plus 5 times damage. It would be 9.5 to Las Plagas, which would be stronger than all the other handguns, and it would also be stronger than the standard shotgun. It wouldn't be as strong as the right shotgun, but still that's pretty cool. Because then it would be like, oh yeah, this gun says buff damage. Like, it wouldn't be like a crazy damage buff or whatever, but then of course it would just make it so good against Plagas. So that's the Punisher, the 5.7. And then we have the Red 9. Mouse C96. Nerf exclusive, back to like GameCube levels, right? The original US edition has an exclusive 5 power rating of 5, while PAL edition raises to 6.5. Yeah, Nerf exclusive down to 5.0 from 6.5 if damage values remain the same. Nerf exclusive down to 5.0 from 6.5 if the damage values remain the same. Yeah, it wouldn't like nerf its like base damage or whatever, you know, so instead you just like nerf the exclusive. It would still be a big bump with it and stuff like that. Remove stock, but add the same effect via a charm, because they've already shown that they're gonna give us charm. I'm just gonna mention one thing here first, though. I mean, in the MISC section, I should probably mention certain other things, like the fact that I do think that certain attache should have more slots. Buff firing speed, which means of course it lowers the firing speed, because that makes you fire faster, because like if something has 0.20 it can fire very fast. Buff firing speed, buff reload speed, buff capacity. Yeah. Add a classic effect to to the exclusive or add it via charm, giving bonus damage percent that stacks the more old weapons you use. And then I give a few examples. Red 9. Red 9. Add a classic effect to the exclusive or add it via charm, giving bonus damage percent that stacks the more old weapons you use. So basically it could be an exclusive effect so that, oh, if you carry around the red 9 and then you carry around, for example, the broken butterfly would count, right? Yeah, because it's based on the Colt single action armor, the old one. And also the Smith & Wesson Schofield model. So you have broken butterfly, broken butterfly, because effect to the exclusive or add it via charm, giving bonus percent damage that stacks the more old weapons. So basically, if you have one gun, it will be a certain amount of bonus percent. If you have 2 guns, of course, it would only count as one per like weapon type. And that's the Killer 7. The Killer 7 would also count Killer 7 because it's, you know, like an old gun. So you can choose either the Broken Butterfly or the Killer 7 for the magnums. Would the hand cannon count? No. The question is, does the Remington 870 count as an old shotgun? I mean, it looks old compared to the Benelli M3. But I almost have a feeling that the Street Sweeper, the Armcell Protector Hybrid, aka the Striker, would count as an old gun, because I feel it has that design to it. Let me go in here on the shotgun here. Let me go in on the Remington and see how old is it actually. 1950, yeah. yeah. I would say that's old. Yeah. Shotgun. Yeah, just the basic shotgun. How old is the SVD Cobra Street Sweeper? That's from 1990. Damn right. Mid 1980s to present. That's a striker. Specifically the Armcell Protector then. Armcell Protector. In 1980s. Yeah, the Street Sweeper, like all of those are. But the question is the one in RE4 if it's based on the same thing, because otherwise the bonus should also, or not really if it's 1980s, that's 13P, how old are you? You're from 92, nope. Chicago typewriter should of course get a bonus pretty much. Chicago typewriter, which is based on the M11 shotgun. Chicago typewriter. Blah. Okay, no spell at all. you know, we might not go over everything, of course, because otherwise, you know, it's just going to be an insanely long video. And I want to do an insanely long video again, you know. Yeah, the bolt action rifle. Yeah, it's just called rifle, right? Yeah, it's just called rifle, in-game rifle. Bolt action. Because it's the Springfield. So 1903 is actually the year it kind of came out. Yes, it's a new gun. This one is not a new gun, right? Nope. 1998 to present. And of course it would count for the like the new guns as well, you know, and stuff that. So yeah, so that would, you know, be like a thing. Alright, they could add like the unusable guns like Smith & Wesson Model 2. They could add the Colt 1851 Navy, which is in game. The Remington 700 BDL, which you can see Ganado using. The Steyr SPP is shown on display. The Ruger actually P94 40 caliber Smith & Wesson is shown on display as well. Eichler & Koch SL 84 is shown as well. That is the bow gun that Data has. Yeah, it was pretty interesting with some other weapons that was in the game. Yeah, the fact that Claire and Rebecca was in the Mercenaries 3D and stuff like that. So yeah, those would be the old weapons. That would count. Then finally, for the final handgun, we have the Blacktail. Right. Blacktail, which is based on the Springfield Armory XD. Make regular firepower go up to 3.4. Remove the 4.5 firepower exclusive and add a capacity exclusive for 100 ammo. Make regular firepower go up to 3.4, which is normally what the maximum firepower was normally on it. make regular firepower go up to 2.4, remove the 4.5 firepower exclusive and add the capacity. Because normally the 4.5 would be the normal maximum on it with the exclusive and stuff. That's nerf firing speed nerf reload speed buff capacity used all around basically. Especially if they're gonna like do that. Shotguns should actually go quicker because there is only 2 of them. Technically I could cover, you know, the Heckling Kosh, the Matilda, but Matilda will go into the new game plus guns. So regular shotgun. So we have the shotgun, the riot gun. Is it just called riot gun because it's not called riot shotgun, riot gun, and striker. Okay, so shotgun, buff, fire, rate, buff, reload, speed, so you can like actually upgrade its fire rate, buff, capacity, buff, damage, should it add another effect into the exclusive? Add a crit multiplier to the exclusive, and a crit multiplier to the exclusive. Okay. So the regular shotgun is based on the Remington 870. We have the rat gun, which is course based on the custom Benelli M3 Super 90 buff damage, buff fire rate, buff reload speed, big capacity, buff add dot damage over time effect to exclusive. So basically, because it's meant for riots, right? So you could have like a special type of ammo that would make sense, right? To be like, oh, this ammo has some kind of thing that makes enemies take like damage over time, you know, and stuff that. So even if you don't finish it with one shot, you could just, you know, just let the damage tick on, you know, and stuff that, and that could be pretty cool. It would make sense out for a riot shotgun. Then we have the striker. Striker buff damage increase range before damage drops off to 4. Increase range before damage drops off before because it drops up to 4 immediately. Nerf firing speed. Nerf reload speed. Nerf the exclusive capacity down to 40. Nerf the exclusive capacity down to 40. Yeah. Buff damage. Remove Ditman. Remove Ditman glitch. You know. And maybe there could be like a speedrun mode where you could still do it, because I don't think they're gonna make it so that you can do it in the game. So yeah. Rifles, magnums, misc. Yeah, we put this the TMP into that category as well. So yeah. So rifles, let's just add the rifles for now here. And stuff that I'm not gonna fill them in, but yeah, so rifle is the bolt action rifle, semi-automatic rifle, broken butterfly on magnum, broken butterfly, what's it called? Killer 7. A misc TMP is in the misc section. Grenade incendiary grenade. Flash grenade. Could it just be called flashbang? Bolt thrower replaces mine thrower. Both changes specifically for the mine thrower ammo. For the explosive ammo. What else is Michelin glass? Right, that will not count. And of course we have a new game plus guns, Matilda, which is the handgun. Then we have the Chicago typewriter, infinite rocket launcher. Oh yeah, to misc we need to add regular rocket launcher and rocket launcher special, which is the one that they gives you. Matilda, Chicago typewriter, infinite rocket launcher, hand cannon, the PLR, whatever it's called, right? It won't even be here, right? The PLR thing. Oh, yeah, there's the mine thrower. Yeah, that is weird that they don't go over that. I can understand that there's no gun like it, you know, and stuff like that, but yeah. Then what is it called? RE4, PLR, something. PLR 412, okay. Yeah. PRL. L 412, which is Plaga removal laser 4012, which is basically the one that you use to so again, plus guns, Matilda, she could take typewriter, infinite rocket launcher, hand cannon, and the PRL are that's wrong. The first blast will replace most of its health, but it will continue to attack in its second form. Because technically the U3 is meant to die from the PRLR, and that gives you the Royal Crown. It gives you basically the Celestial Assembly Crown. Okay. Yeah, that's I'm about to it, I think, actually. Because I'm gonna add more info on the other guns here and stuff like that, so yeah. So I mean, I'm pretty happy with what I got here so far, you know, stuff like that, so yeah. So the rifle are gonna be interesting, of course. On bolt action rifle I will probably actually buff the damage, buff firing speed, buff reload speed. Maybe increase zoom functionality so you can have more levels of zoom on it. The semi-auto rifle, I will probably buff up its firing rate again, depending on how much they buff up the bolt action rifle, of course. I would also add a different effect to its exclusive rather than it being the thing that increases its firing speed. Magnums, of course, I would add from exclusive to Killer 7. Yeah. Would I nerf the Broken Butterfly? No. I probably wouldn't. TMP, I would probably buff the TMP, even though the TMP is really good already. But I would probably make it so that default ammo capacity would be higher by default, so instead of 30, I would have it so it would start at 75, so it would be more useful at the very start, because that's the main problem. Like instead of that, I would also buff the damage from it from the start, so that you would start it with a higher damage already from the start. Yes, sure, it would make things easier, but you know, it definitely seems like there will be more enemies this time around. So yeah. Right. That's good. Really, really good. But yeah, so should I talk about something else? I don't remember if I talked about how in Final Fantasy X I started like a new round I did find, you know, some of the older save files and stuff like that, but I hadn't, of course, uploaded the latest save file from the PS4 version and stuff like that, so it was the old save file before I got to Sunset Deal. The funny thing is, the Sunset Deal, I remember back in the day not having as much issues with back on the PS2. But the thing is, when you're doing the catcher thing, for some people it's going to be easy because sometimes you're gonna get lucky. If the balloon are placed in a bad spot, you won't be able to get the birds before the guy does. Now the best thing is, of course, if the guy gets ahead of you, but he managed to, you know, draw a lot of the birds to him. But sometimes it can also be stupid because sometimes just a bird can spawn on top of you and there's basically nothing you can do with how it is. You might say, the thing is, of course, if you know how to calculate things, you could technically be like, okay, I get this amount of balloons and then I try and dodge. And don't go for certain balloons, you know, and stuff like that, because then you're just gonna take damage and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just, yeah. I kind of wish that those things would have been nerfed, like in the remaster, or there would be like an easier way to get certain other things, because the thing is just, you need the Celestial weapons because they have like a certain damage thing. They have like a built-in pierce effect. But if you custom, like, for example, if you customize your own ultimate weapon and customize it with piercing, it's not gonna do the same. So basically, you won't be dealing the same damage with other weapons, even if you have break damage limit. As for example, as Tidus using Galad Bolg and stuff like that, you won't be able to do as much damage as with it. But yeah, I think that's actually good about to do it for the recording session. So yeah, put the glasses back because, you know, I don't want to record too long today, you know, so I can upload a video. You know, and I would add more. I would add more of the text, of course, to the actual video and stuff like that. I would add some more to the text itself and stuff like that. But yeah, hopefully, of course, they wait for a RE4, you know, for a demo. It won't be too long, you know, and stuff like that. I hope that it won't be time-based this time around, you know, and stuff like that. And wouldn't it be cool if you could get something for playing to it or whatever, you know? I would probably watch that video. Yeah, there have been people complaining, or not complaining, but people have been comparing the Metroid Prime remaster from the original and stuff like that. I definitely think that certain things have been changed, like Wave Beam feels faster, Ice Beam feels pretty slow, almost slower than the original, but it also feels like the damage is very high on the Ice Beam actually, and stuff like that. Now the featured Metroids are just as annoying as always. And it seems in a certain area that there's almost like an infinite respawning of them, but it seems to only be a certain amount. But it's so annoying because you cannot freeze those Metroids and stuff like that. It's just really, really hard to dodge them in the final area. So you're gonna already have taken a few energy tanks worth of damage before you even reach the Metroid Prime. And the sad thing is, if you do too much damage to him too quickly, then you won't be able to regain the health because you follow after him automatically. The first time he goes down, you have to go after him normally, but after that you just outgo in after him, which is really bad. Now there is a way to also avoid his tail attack when he switches side and stuff like that, and you have to look at because there's basically several holes that you can use, and you have to watch which one he drags his tail to, so make sure that you're in the correct hole so you avoid that attack and stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of it also is remembering also the fact that when he shoots the thing that can drop health and ammo, so I would almost say that instead of trying to, you know, killing the first of his forms quickly, it is better to make it draw out longer and not use up any missile ammo, because if you don't use up any missile ammo, the chances for health to drop will be higher, and then you will probably have more health going into the final parts, because I only had 3 or 4 energy tanks at that point. I kind of screwed up on the final form because I only had like 1 power bomb left, and then of course I forgot the fact that it could also go into, it can go to the, what do you call it, it can go into the thermal visor as well, so it's really annoying. And sometimes it during one part almost refused to spawn a new pool for whatever reason, because I think I killed the meteoroids too quickly, and then it just refused to spawn the other pool, and I tried to like shooting at it and stuff that, and then it got a bunch of free hits in on me because I didn't, dodge properly and whatever. But yeah, it just feels like, yeah. But yeah, I keep in mind, of course, I'm definitely hoping that for the Americans they're gonna get the proper hard version of it. The funny thing is, I remember being Metroid Prime 2, how Americans was, oh, this game is so easy or whatever, blah blah blah, whatever. And whenever you see someone has done a let's play of it, and then they don't realize that even in Metroid Prime 2 it was like way easier, because I remember on the European version, for example, one of the bosses where you have to fight it in like mortal form, when you're at that point I think you only have like 1 or 2 E-tanks or whatever, and basically you almost have to go to like a obstacle course before you even reach the boss, and you can only do that obstacle course with the form. And I think the door locks behind you, so you cannot go and get like more health and stuff there, and it just feels like extremely rough. And then it's all about like timing and stuff that to hit the boss and stuff that, and then it's just frustrating because the good boss deals a lot of damage, and it's just very easy to die at that point. And maybe, back when I did it back on Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, maybe I didn't have enough health or whatever, and stuff that. Maybe I could have had more health at that point, but yeah. Yeah, it is pretty funny when because the American version basically the American version's hard mode was only European's normal mode, pretty much. So yeah, unless you count like hyper mode. I think the American actually added hyper mode as well, which was basically the hard mode and stuff that. So yeah, but it was still very weird, that the normal mode is not a normal mode. It's like an easier mode. Of course, it's not like casual level of difficulty, but still, it's just like, yeah, it's weird like that. But yeah, hope you all will enjoy this. I will of course add more here to the different guns and stuff that, will it be like nerfing like grenades, incendiary flash grenades with a buff, maybe I would definitely say on the incendiaries they definitely need a bigger radius effect, so that, because the point of the incendiary to use it over like regular grenades is just like, yeah, you set fire on a bunch of enemies, like have like a bigger radius. It's a fucking fire thing. Maybe have it also deal more damage to like the enemies that are weak to it. Of course, I hope they keep so that Bitores Mendes is weak against fire, because he's weak against incendiary grenades, which is also why the explosives there is very good as well. So I hope they keep that, because if you stock up on enough incendiaries, you can just kill him very quickly and stuff that, which is pretty cool. But yeah. So yeah, I definitely think that certain things are going to be balanced around. You might wonder, will you balance like the new Game Plus guns? Yeah, probably. The Matilda, I would definitely like add infinite ammo to its exclusive or whatever, and stuff that. I think the Matilda would be the best handgun in that opinion, because even though its maximum attack isn't that strong, the fact that if you hold down the button or whatever it is, you fire all 3 shots, and each of those shots deals the damage it shows. So if it is, for example, 2 damage, then it would be dealing like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It would be dealing 6 damage, but for example, if it dealt 2.5, then it would be deal 7.5 damage from 1 burst. And you can fire pretty quickly with the Matilda and stuff that, so yeah. You might say, but the Blacktail is still stronger, because, with Blacktail you can shoot very quick with, in the OG game, so yeah. I will of course most likely also for like the rifle make the scope already be built in, so you don't have to buy like an extra scope, or have to buy like a thing over it, but yeah. Anyway, see you all